Hi everyone, we're Mimicker, here to introduce all kinds of knowledge, even stuff we didn't know about. Today, we're diving headfirst into a world that, well, it might seem deceptively simple on the surface, but has proven to be a true global phenomenon. We're talking about a mischievous kindergartner who somehow, against all odds, became this huge cultural and commercial empire. Get ready for the deep dive into the fascinating business and cultural trajectory of Crayon Shin-chan. So, just for anyone maybe less familiar, Crayon Shin-chan basically follows the everyday adventures, or maybe misadventures, of this 5-year-old, Shinosuke Nohara, Shin-chan. And his family, his parents, Hiroshi and Misai, his baby sister Himawari, their dog Shiro, they all live in Kasukabe, Japan. Shin-chan, well, he's known for his cheeky, sometimes pretty inappropriate humor, his love for the TV hero action mask, and just his endless antics that constantly, disrupt the mundane lives of everyone around him. It's like slice of life comedy, but with this really irreverent twist that seems to have captured hearts all over the world.
Exactly. On the surface, like you said, Crayon Shin-chan might just seem like a quirky, maybe sometimes crude, children's cartoon. But underneath that playful exterior, there's this surprising depth of, well, strategic brilliance and adaptability. That's what's kept it relevant for, over 3 decades now? For this deep dive, we've pulled together a really rich tapestry of sources. We've got extensive Wikipedia entries detailing its history, the characters, even the controversies it's faced. And alongside that, a pretty comprehensive business analysis report that gives us some solid commercial insights into its enduring success. So this is about revealing not just what Crayon Shin-chan is, but really why it's achieved such remarkable longevity and global reach.
Absolutely. Our mission today is basically to peel back those layers. We want to explore not just the creative journey, but also those really crucial commercial decisions that let it thrive for so long. This isn't just about a cartoon, right? It feels more like a blueprint for global brand longevity in the entertainment industry.
Precisely. By the end of this, you'll understand not just the mechanics of its success, but also maybe what strategic lessons we can glean from its continuous evolution in this incredibly dynamic world of entertainment. How does a single character become a multi-billion-dollar franchise that resonates across so many different cultures? Let's unpack that.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning because the origins of Crayon Shin-chan are, well, genuinely surprising. It debuted back in August 1990, but it started as something fundamentally different from the, family-friendly show most of us probably know today. When Yoshito Zui first created the manga, it was actually positioned as an adult-oriented seinen manga. Now, for our listeners, seinen manga is a Japanese comic genre aimed primarily at adult male audiences, think young adults to older men. It often explores themes that are more mature, sometimes darker, or, like in Shinchan's case, just more irreverent and suggestive than what you'd find in a typical kids comic. It debuted in Futabasha's weekly manga action, and yeah, in its early days, it definitely featured quite a bit of mature humor and innuendo. Things like Shin-chan's infamous elephant trick or his flirting being shown with a bit more, let's say, edge. It was meant to get a laugh for sure, but not really with a broad family audience in mind originally.
And this is where we see that really pivotal shift in its trajectory. It's honestly a testament to the power of audience feedback and, well, strategic adaptation. What's fascinating here is just how responsive the creators and producers were to how the audience was actually receiving it. It fundamentally altered the IP's direction. So the anime adaptation, produced by Shinai Animation for TV Asahi, it premiered April 13th, 1992. And unexpectedly, it just gained wide appeal among families. This wasn't the plan, right? Not the original target demographic.
Yeah.
But the positive reception from parents and kids was just undeniable. This forced a strategic readjustment for the anime. They had to tone down the more explicit adult jokes and themes. And that pivot really paved the way for its now iconic, broadly family-friendly image. It's kind of a rare and fascinating case, actually, where the animated adaptation didn't just, bring the manga to life, but it completely reshaped the source material's future, guiding it towards a much, much wider audience.
Yeah, that initial pivot clearly was a game changer, wasn't it? The commercial success was immediate, undeniable. It really validated that strategic shift. And the first feature film, Crayon Shin-chan, The Secret of Buri Kingdom, followed remarkably quickly in 1993, like just a year after the anime premiered. That rapid expansion from TV straight into cinema, it really underscored the success of that initial repositioning. It solidified its new identity as a franchise that could entertain the whole family across multiple platforms. It's genuinely surprising how quickly they made that jump. That really cemented the pivot. But what I find truly remarkable is what happened next, especially how they managed to sustain that momentum and overcome, well, some pretty significant challenges. It shows incredible staying power. We mentioned the manga debut in August 90, anime April 92, first film 93. Seems like a fast climb, but the real test of its resilience, that came much later. In September 2009, the series faced this profound challenge: the tragic passing of its creator, Yoshito Usui, due to a mountaineering accident. For so many creative properties, especially ones so tied to their original artist's vision, that could easily be the end.
Absolutely, a real creator dependency risk.
Right, but the serialization actually continued with Usui's existing drafts until March 2010. And then something quite remarkable happened. The series was relaunched in September 2010 as New Crayon Shin-chan, and it was handled by his assistant team, Yoshito Usui and UI Studio, published in Manga Town. That continuity is huge.
It really is.
And the franchise also kept adapting to the changing media landscape. They understood the importance of being digital. The manga migrated to a dedicated website at the end of 2023. That signals a clear adaptation to online platforms, recognizing how people consume content now. And the numbers, well, they speak for themselves. The ongoing success is incredible. It exceeded 12,267 anime episodes by early 2025. That just unequivocally reaffirms its market presence and its continued relevance decades after it started. It's a testament to that strategic continuity.
Indeed. And if we step back and look at the bigger picture here, Yoshito Usui's legacy and that sustained continuity is truly a masterclass in intellectual property management. That strategic handover to Usui's assistant team was absolutely paramount. It protected the IP from those creator dependency risks you mentioned. Those risks often cripple artist-driven franchises when the original visionary isn't there anymore. This move ensured not only creative continuity, maintaining the unique humor, the character voices, the storytelling style, but also the seamless transmission of the brand's core gene, so to speak, to a new generation of creators. It just highlights the vital importance of robust IP management and, crucially, succession planning, especially for properties so intrinsically linked to their original creator. It's pretty much a textbook example of how to keep a beloved creation alive and thriving, ensuring its longevity extends way beyond the lifespan of its originator.
Okay, so to really get why Crayon Shin-chan has had such enduring appeal, we need to dig into the characters, these personalities that make its world so hilariously chaotic. These are the quirks, the dynamics that have resonated with audiences globally for, well, decades now. Let's start with the core, the Nohara family. They really are the epicenter of all the chaos and, strangely, the relatability. At the heart of it all, of course, is Nohara Shinusuke, our 5-year-old protagonist, Shin-chan. What makes him so iconic isn't just his signature look, the red t-shirt, yellow shorts. It's his boundless, kind of innocent mischief. He's this whirlwind of energy, loves superheroes like Action Mask and Gundam Robot, famously hates green peppers, onions, carrots, picky eater. But his defining traits are those cheeky, often pretty inappropriate antics. From his infamous butt dance and elephant trick to his rather forward flirtatious nature with older women like Nanako. These aren't just throwaway gags, they're integral to his character. He's constantly testing the patience of everyone around him, creating endless comedic situations. He sort of embodies that unfiltered, maybe provocative curiosity of a young child. And I think that's a big part of his universal appeal.
Absolutely. And he needs someone to bounce off of, right? Which brings us to Nohara Hiroshi, Shin-chan's 35-year-old father. Hiroshi is like the quintessential Japanese everyman salaryman. Works hard at double trading company, enjoys a round of golf, definitely has a weakness for pretty women, but his most memorable and maybe unfortunate characteristic, his incredibly smelly feet. It's a running gag that often serves as this powerful comedic weapon in the series. Hiroshi is often the voice of reason, usually exhausted, exasperated by Shin-chan's antics, but still deeply loving and fundamentally good-natured. His struggles with daily life, work, his dreams, his occasional failures, they make him incredibly relatable to fathers and working adults everywhere, I think.
Totally. And providing the, let's say, comedic counterpoint to both Shin-chan's mischief and Hiroshi's more laid-back nature is Nohara Misai, Shin-chan's 29-year-old mother. Misa is the full-time housewife and definitely the disciplinarian of the family. Her main method of discipline for both Shin-chan and Hiroshi is the formidable Mise punch, or the fist spin. They both live in fear of it. She's obsessed with sales, tends to save secret money, which actually surprisingly saved their house once after an explosion, and she's often seen struggling with her weight, her love for sweets. Now, initially in the early manga, she was depicted maybe with a more impatient, sometimes violent education style, but the anime later softened those aspects. It portrayed her as deeply caring despite her temper, her struggles with household budgets, parenting, self-image. They make her a highly relatable figure for mothers and women juggling domestic stuff globally. She's absolutely the strongest fighter in the Nohara household, always trying to keep her chaotic family somewhat in line.
And the family dynamics got even more interesting with the arrival of Nohara Haya Himawari, Shin-chan's baby sister. Even though she's just a baby, Hima, as they call her, she quickly established her own distinct personality. Like her mother, apparently she loves handsome men and shiny objects. But she quickly loses interest if they're cheap imitations, which is quite funny. And she's just as mischievous as Shin-chan, just in her own baby way, often causing trouble through her antics, which kind of reinforces the show's core theme that chaos isn't just limited to the main character. Her arrival added this new layer of family realism and definitely introduced fresh comedic situations.
Yeah, can't forget Hima. And rounding out the core family is Nohara Shiro, the family's white male dog. He was abandoned before Shin-chan adopted him, and surprisingly, he's often considered the smartest member of the Nohara family, mostly because of his quiet wisdom and his often, exasperated reactions to the Nohara's craziness. His special tricks include curling into a perfect cotton candy ball and the itchy itchy scratch. Shiro is so popular he even got his own spin-off anime, Super Shiro, which really highlights how even a seemingly minor character can become a significant part of the franchise's whole ecosystem. The dynamic between all of them, Hiroshi's smelly feet, Misei's punch, Shin-chan's endless antics, Shiro's quiet wisdom, that's really the heart of the show's humor and its global relatability.
So the natural question that comes up is, how do these seemingly ordinary, often flawed characters create such a strong emotional connection globally, despite all their quirks and sometimes pretty outrageous behaviors? I think the brilliance really lies in that relatable portrayal of a nuclear family's daily life, but then juxtaposed with Shin-chan's innocent yet provocative antics. Their imperfections are actually part of their charm, right? It makes them feel real and lovable, allowing audiences from really diverse cultures to connect with their universal struggles and triumphs. That blend of the mundane and the absurd, that's what makes the humor transcend boundaries, I believe. And beyond the immediate family, the world of Crayon Shin-chan is just filled with this vibrant cast of friends, especially the Kasokabi Defense Group. That's Shin-chan's kindergarten crew. These characters provide another whole layer of relatability and, of course, comedic interaction.
Absolutely. First up, you've got Kazama Toru. Kazama's the smart kid of the group, often seen as the self-appointed leader. Bit snobbish, attends English classes, wants to go to a prestigious private elementary school. He's got a bit of a mother complex, and secretly loves the show Magical Girl Mary, which he pretends to hate. Classic comedic contradiction, right? Even though Shin-chan constantly annoys him, they even get into fights sometimes, they're still best friends underneath it all. Kazama's often frustrated attempts to maintain order or seem sophisticated are just a great foil for Shin-chan's chaos.
Then there's Sakurada Nene. Initially, she was quieter, but later she becomes quite forceful, even domineering, especially when it comes to her infamous super realistic house game. In this game, she forces her friends to act out these intense, often melodramatic family dramas. Apparently, it's so dreaded that even kids from other classes avoid it. When she gets frustrated, Nene has this tendency to, well, physically abuse her poor rabbit doll, affectionately known as Happy Rabbit, or sometimes Beaten Rabbit. Her personality, especially her temper, is very much inherited from her mother, and she's one of the few characters who can genuinely give Shin-chan a painful bump on the head with her iron fist. Nene sort of embodies that sometimes intense, dramatic side of childhood friendships, but always with this comedic exaggeration.
And we can't forget Sato Masao. Masao is the timid one, the rice ball-headed boy of the group. Easily scared, cries a lot. He has this obvious, unrequited crush on Ai-chan, which creates another source of ongoing comedic tension. While he's mostly meek, he can sometimes show this surprising dual personality when he's pushed too far. He'll momentarily become assertive, maybe even a bit tough, before snapping back to his usual timid self. He's often the victim in Nine's house game, usually playing the weak, unmotivated husband, often ending in a divorce or running away from home scenario, which just adds to the show's satirical take on adult life through kids' eyes.
Then there's the enigmatic Bo-chan. He's always got that snotty nose, yet he's surprisingly wise and knowledgeable. Often makes these profound observations amidst all the chaos. His hobbies include observing things and collecting rocks. And he's remarkably laid back, almost always participates in Shin-chan's imaginative, sometimes completely nonsensical games, like hide-and-seek without an oni or imaginary dodgeball. In Nene's house game, he usually plays some insignificant role, like a baby, a pet, maybe even a plant, which kind of reinforces his detached yet somehow integral presence in the group. Bo-chan's quiet, almost philosophical demeanor provides a really unique, often unexpected comedic element.
And then there's the privileged addition to the class, Sutomei, known as Ai-chan. She's the rich, spoiled girl, always accompanied by her stern bodyguard, Kuroizo. She is utterly obsessed with Shun-chan, constantly trying to win his affection, much to the eternal dismay of poor Misao, who just wants her attention. She always calls Shin-chan young Master Shin-chan, and even calls his mother Mother Sama. Her attempts to basically buy Shin-chan's affection, often by delivering absurd amounts of whatever he happens to fancy at the moment, create this humorous critique of wealth and social status, all from a child's perspective.
And beyond this core group of friends, the series also features this rich tapestry of other notable figures. They really shape the world of Kasukabe and add to the show's comedic fabric. You see the recurring roles of the teachers at Futaba Kindergarten. There's the sweet and caring Yoshinaga-sensei, the glamorous and competitive Matsuzaka-sensei who later finds love, and the shy but quite capable Achio-sensei. There are also the quirky neighbors like Mrs. Kitamoto, who's a passionate gossip, and the young, overly affectionate Harugaya couple. And the setting itself, Kasukabe City in Saitama Prefecture, it's almost like a character in its own right. What truly makes the show work, I think, is the contrast between this ordinary, slice-of-life Japanese suburban setting and the extraordinary, often absurd situations Shin-chan creates within it. The show has even had a real-world impact on Kasukabe City. It's become a recognized location because of the show's popularity. Shin-chan even acts as a Saitama tourism ambassador, and local trains are decorated with the characters. That's a testament to the brand's tangible cultural footprint.
So what does this all mean for the show's enduring appeal? The true brilliance, it seems, lies in that relatable portrayal of a nuclear family's daily life and the dynamics of childhood friendships, all juxtaposed with Shin-chan's innocent yet somehow provocative antics. It creates this brand of humor that just transcends cultural barriers because, at its heart, it's about universal themes, right? Family, friendship, growing up, the everyday absurdities we all experience. It's a formula that consistently delivers laughs and builds these deep emotional connections with its audience. Makes it more than just a cartoon, really. It's a beloved cultural touchstone. Okay, this deep dive really shows how Crayon Shin-chan isn't just a comic. It's grown into this massive, continuously expanding and innovating media empire. Let's start with its foundation, the publishing roots. The series began as a publishing powerhouse. The manga, initially serialized in Weekly Manga Action, later Manga Town, but the numbers associated with its print success are just staggering. It achieved a global sales figure of over 148 million copies sold worldwide by November 2023. That foundational success in print is just incredible. Provides a massive, steady stream of revenue. And importantly, despite the tragic passing of creator Yoshito Usui in 2009, the series showed remarkable continuity. New Crayon Shin-chan was successfully continued by Yoshito Usui and UI Studio. This ensured the flow of content and maintained the brand's presence in the print market. It further solidified its legacy, improved its resilience even after losing its creator.
Yeah, and a really striking aspect of this whole phenomenon is just the sheer volume and enduring reach of the anime. That's what cemented its status as a household name globally. The enduring anime series, it's had such an impressive run. Running since 1992, is spanning more than 12,267 episodes as of January 2025. That longevity alone speaks volumes about its consistent appeal and, frankly, the tireless production efforts behind it. But its global footprint is equally staggering. It's been dubbed in 36 languages and broadcast across 45 countries. That's huge. This massive content library makes it an evergreen asset, right? Provides a steady stream of revenue through syndication, streaming rights, and in Japan, it consistently ranks in the top 10 for TV ratings. Shows its continuous popularity even in its home market after all this time. This massive broadcast presence is key to its brand recognition and really forms the bedrock of its global expansion.
And it's not just TV. The movies have been absolutely shattering records. Toho, the distributor, they adopted this highly successful strategy of releasing a new feature film pretty much annually. Accumulated 33 films by 2025. And these aren't just minor spin-offs. They're major cinematic events that consistently draw audiences, proving the character's enduring appeal on the big screen, too. The 31st film, Crayon Shin-chan the movie. Super Fusion. I Love You, Ando from 2023, that one was particularly groundbreaking. As the series' first full 3D CG film, it represented a significant investment in new animation technology, and it proved to be a massive success. Grossed over $2.47 billion, which is roughly US $16.7 million just in Japan. Set a new series record.
Wow, a record breaker.
Exactly. And it wasn't a fluke either. The 30-second film, Crayon Shin-chan, or Our Dinosaur Diary, 2024, continued this upward trend, hit US $17.17 million domestically and US $24.19 million worldwide. What's truly impressive is that this cinematic success isn't just confined to Japan. That 30-second film had a really strong performance in China, earned around 122 million, that's about US $17 million. It made it the second highest grossing film there in its year-end box office. It also saw strong showings in South Korea, Hong Kong, and Vietnam. This multi-regional box office success really highlights a diversified audience base and revenue streams, significantly reduces reliance on any single market, and showcases its genuine global appeal.
Yeah, placing this in a larger context, that sustained investment in diverse formats like 3D CG animation and the remarkable multi-regional success of the films, it clearly demonstrates a strategic effort to diversify revenue streams and minimize reliance on single markets. This isn't just about making more money, though. It's about audience engagement and brand longevity, too. By experimenting with new visual styles and narratives, they keep the franchise fresh, appealing to new generations, while also catering to the preferences of different global markets. This kind of foresight ensures the brand remains fresh and engaging for new generations and across different cultural contexts. It proves its adaptability is actually a core business strategy.
And beyond the screens, Shin-chan is just everywhere you look. It's a true merchandising and licensing empire, a testament to the character's deep connection with consumers. The sheer variety of merchandise is vast, spans everything from toys and apparel to accessories, collectibles, creates this powerful stream of revenue completely independent of just consuming the content. A prime example of this commercial success is that iconic Chocobi snack brand, which features the character. Produced by Bandai Namco, this snack alone has sold over 272 million units by March 2024. That's an astonishing number of snack boxes, represents a massive continuous revenue stream.
272 million, that's mind-boggling.
How? Right. And the commercial success extends deeply into international markets, too. In China, for instance, a single licensed toy partner generated a GMV gross merchandise value exceeding 600 million. That's roughly US $83 million in 2024 alone. What's even more impressive is that this partner reported over 100% compound annual overseas growth. That showcases the immense and growing demand for Shin-chan products globally, way beyond just content distribution. This isn't just supplementary income, it's a massive self-sustaining revenue pillar for the franchise, really demonstrates the power of its brand recognition. And they're clearly not shying away from new tech either. Crayon Shin-chan has made really significant strides on the digital frontier, proactively engaging in gaming and innovative AR experiences. The new Crayon Shin-chan manga shifted to online serialization, and there's that spin-off series, Crayon Shin-chan Gaiden, streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime Video, shows a clear early embrace of digital content distribution and subscription models. In the gaming world, their strategy is equally diverse and multi-platform. Notable video games include the PC Steam title Crayon Shin-chan, Me and the Professor's Summer Vacation. There are mobile games like Crayon Shin-chan, Shiro and Coal Town, which is a Crunchyroll premium exclusive, and the free-to-play Crayon Shin-chan, Assistance Big Mission, which has been top-rated in 7 countries and features localized Chinese content. This shows a deep understanding of varied user preferences and market needs, doesn't it? From one-time purchases to subscription and free-to-play models.
Definitely covers all the bases.
And for something truly innovative, they launched the AR Crayon Shin-chan app in December 2024. This app uses augmented reality codes on physical picture cards for interactive content, allows fans to bring Shin-chan characters into their real-world environment. This pushes the boundaries of how fans can engage with the characters, represents a clear exploration of new emerging interactive technologies, demonstrates a commitment to staying at the forefront of digital engagement.
So the crucial question here becomes, what is this comprehensive digital ecosystem, spanning streaming, webtoons, PC, mobile games, and innovative AR experiences? Tell us about the franchise's foresight, how they're adapting to changing media consumption habits and diversifying revenue streams. Well, it speaks to a proactive and multifaceted strategy to stay relevant and monetize across pretty much every emerging platform. They're not just following trends, they seem to be actively shaping their future in the digital space, ensuring multiple avenues for audience engagement and monetization, whether through subscriptions, in-app purchases, or experiential AR. This integrated approach ensures the brand remains vital and profitable.
All these figures Even without a single unified public valuation, they just paint this clear picture of Crayon Shin-chan's staggering value. We're talking over 148 million manga copies sold worldwide, over 12,267 anime episodes, 33 films, with recent ones hitting record box office numbers like $16.7 million in Japan for one, $24.19 million globally for the next, with $17 million just from China for that one. Then there are the 272 million Shikobi units shipped, and that single China toy licensee generating $83 million in GMV in 2024. When you aggregate all these revenue streams, the global market impacts, the decades of consistent performance, it becomes undeniably clear. Crayon Shin-chan is a multi-billion-dollar media franchise. Its economic contribution is vast, spans numerous global partners, makes it a true titan of the entertainment industry.
So how does a quintessentially Japanese character, this very specific, sometimes edgy brand of humor, connect with audiences all across the globe? It seems it's all about strategic expansion and incredibly smart localization. Let's dig into its international market penetration and how they achieve such widespread reach.
We've touched on it, but it really bears repeating. Crayon Shin-chan has this impressive presence in 45-plus countries and is dubbed into 30-plus languages.
Okay.
This isn't just broad reach, it's deep integration into really diverse linguistic and cultural landscapes. Requires a significant investment in adaptation, obviously.
Huge investment.
And the demand metrics are quite compelling. They demonstrate where the audience truly is. In the USA, viewer demand for Crayon Shin-chan is 3.9 times the average for the market, ranks it in the 88.1 percentile for comedies. That's strong, shows a niche but passionate audience. But in India, the demand is even more astonishing, 6.4 times the average, placing it at the 97.8 percentile for comedies, that's near the very top, indicates massive popularity there. China and the Netherlands are also identified as incredibly strong markets. These figures aren't just numbers, they demonstrate a targeted strategy right. Prioritize resources in regions with the highest potential return on investment. Shows a truly global strategic approach to market expansion.
Yeah, and a really striking aspect of this global success is the depth of their cultural adaptation. Like you said, it's not just translation, it's often a reimagining. The art of cultural adaptation, particularly through dubbing and content modification, that's a cornerstone of Shin-chan's global success. They undertake multi-language dubbing, like that extensive range of Indian languages, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Malayalam. That ensures broad accessibility within these diverse linguistic markets. But the adaptation goes way beyond just language. There are extensive content revisions for cultural sensitivity for censorship. This can mean replacing adult jokes, altered character names, re-edited risque scenes, or sometimes removing entire episodes that are deemed inappropriate for local norms. For example, in India, some words were replaced to avoid controversy, like changing sharap, which means drink or alcohol, to juice, or girlfriend to just friend, which admittedly sometimes altered the original plot logic or character relationships a bit, highlights the complex trade-offs involved.
Yeah, changing girlfriend to friend could definitely change the dynamic.
Exactly. And a significant challenge in this whole process is translating that cultural humor, puns, and onomatopoeia. Those elements are often deeply rooted in Japanese culture and can be notoriously difficult to convey effectively in other languages without losing the joke completely. There are even regional variations within the same language, like the differences between Taiwanese and Hong Kong Chinese dialogues, shows the nuanced, granular nature of global content distribution. Ultimately, this extensive, sometimes bold localization is a trade-off. It prioritizes cultural relevance over original fidelity to gain market acceptance. This approach is crucial for achieving widespread commercial success in diverse, often sensitive international markets, even if it means some parts of the original artistic intent get modified along the way.
That's such a fascinating trade-off, prioritizing local relevance over original fidelity. But doesn't that carry a risk? Is there a point where so much has changed that it, I don't know, alienates the original fan base or even loses the core essence of Shin-chan? It sounds like a really delicate balancing act.
It absolutely is a very delicate balancing act. The risk of alienating core fans, especially those who know the original manga or Japanese anime, is real, which is why these decisions are likely made with careful market research and consideration. However, for a brand like Shin-chan, which, remember, evolved from a seinen manga to a family show within Japan itself, the whole concept of original fidelity has always been somewhat fluid, hasn't it? The goal seems to be capturing the spirit of that mischievous, relatable humor, rather than preserving every single nuance or joke verbatim. And the massive global success suggests that, for the most part, they've managed to strike that balance effectively. They prioritize the broader, family-friendly appeal and tailor it to what resonates in each specific market.
Okay, that makes sense. Beyond the content itself, though, they've built this full circle of engagement that goes way beyond just watching the show. This is what we call 360-degree brand engagement and experiential marketing, aiming to create a truly immersive brand ecosystem. In India, for instance, Sony YAY has implemented this comprehensive 360-degree integration strategy. This means they're seamlessly connecting broadcast viewership, merchandise sales, experiential zones, gaming, digital content. They're basically replicating strategies proven successful with other global IPs like Naruto, aiming for that deeply immersive brand experience that extends beyond the screen. This involves significant physical events too. There's the Giant Wheel Festival, numerous mall promotions, exciting meet and greets with the characters, extensive outdoor advertising. It's about bringing Shin-chan off the screen and into the daily lives of fans, right? Fostering a deeper, more tangible connection. A fantastic example of this immersive experience is Hong Kong's 2025 Crayon Shin-chan Time Travel Adventure Interactive Exhibition. Aims to deepen fan engagement through a physical, interactive event. Encourages repeat visits, social sharing. They also engage in cross-industry brand tie-ins like hotel collaborations, character-themed cafes, further extending the brand's reach and creating these memorable, monetizable experiences that reinforce brand loyalty.
Yeah, and the wider lesson from this, I think, is that this integrated marketing approach aims to create an almost omnipresent brand image and deep emotional connections with consumers. By hitting multiple touch points from viewing content to buying merchandise to experiencing live events, they maximize those cross-platform monetization opportunities and build really fierce brand loyalty. This strategy cultivates a deeply invested audience, ensures the franchise is not just seen, but truly felt and lived by its audience. It's about building a lifestyle around the IP, not just selling a product. And that helps future-proof its relevance.
Right. No global success story comes without its hurdles, does it? Crayon Shin-chan has definitely faced its share, particularly around its content and the ongoing battle to protect its identity. Let's start with that inherent tension of content sensitivity and the global-local paradox that we touched on earlier. Initially, even domestically in Japan, there was controversy among parents, educators, regarding the manga's adult humor and sexual innuendo. It even became a social issue for a time. This highlights how a series can evolve and shift its target audience over time, and how that initial reception might not align with the long-term brand strategy. That early domestic pushback was probably a major factor in the anime's decision to tone things down.
Almost certainly.
Internationally, we've seen that extensive editing abroad, particularly in places like the USA and India, to adapt to cultural norms and censorship. This includes clip removal, dialogue rewrites, and character renaming to avoid offending local sensibilities or violating broadcast regulations. Sometimes these changes, like altering girlfriend to friend or share up drink to juice in India, they can subtly alter plot logic or character relationships, creating maybe narrative inconsistencies for really keen viewers. This is that persistent challenge of humor localization balancing the original comedic essence, which often relies on specific cultural nuances or wordplay, with the need for cultural appropriateness and mass market acceptance. It's a continuous global-local paradox where fidelity to the original clashes with market acceptance, forcing creators to make these difficult compromises.
Yeah, difficult is the word.
And one specific really notable controversy was the death of Dr. Tokuro in manga volume 47. In this storyline, Matsuzaka Sensei's boyfriend, Dr. Tokuro, tragically dies in a terrorist attack in South America. This leads Matsuzaka Sensei to contemplate suicide. This was a significant departure from the series' usual comedic tone, delving into very dark, mature themes. It caused considerable debate among Japanese readers at the time. For this very reason, the anime adaptation made a very conscious choice to omit content from manga volumes 45 to 47. They explicitly changed Dr. Tokuro's fate. He still went overseas for work, but did not die in a terrorist attack. This really shows the significant choices they had to make to maintain the show's overall tone and appeal to its now family-friendly audience, prioritizing consistency and positive viewer experience over strict adherence to manga plot points.
So the crucial question that keeps coming up is, how does an IP balance maintaining its unique, sometimes subversive humor with the need for broad market acceptance and avoiding negative backlash? It's that delicate tightrope walk you mentioned. For Crayon Shin-chan, the strategy has clearly been to prioritize broad appeal, even if it means altering core elements of its original content for certain markets. This decision isn't taken lightly, obviously, as it risks alienating purist fans. However, the commercial success and sustained global presence indicate that this was a calculated and, well, largely successful trade-off. Demonstrates a pragmatic approach to global market penetration. It's a testament to their understanding of what elements are truly essential to the brand's core appeal versus what can be adapted. Now, the animation market is intensely competitive. So many established and emerging IPs vying for attention across broadcast, streaming, merchandise. For example, in India, Crayon Shin-chan faces fierce competition from hugely popular children's IPs like Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig, plus numerous local animations. However, Crayon Shin-chan's 32-year domestic run and consistent high ratings in Japan, that acts as a strong competitive moat. This longevity is a powerful advantage. It underscores not only the enduring appeal of the content, but also the strategic market positioning that's allowed it to thrive for decades. Its established brand recognition, its cross-generational appeal, that deeply loyal fan base, they serve as significant barriers to new entrants. Makes it incredibly difficult for emerging IPs to dislodge its market position or capture its market share. This history provides an almost unassailable competitive advantage.
That longevity truly is impressive. But in an era where new animated content seems to pop up daily, is simply having a moat enough? Or does Shin-chan also need to be constantly innovative to fend off newcomers? Does age itself become a challenge in a market that constantly craves novelty?
That's a vital point. A moat gives you protection, absolutely, but innovation ensures continued relevance. It's not enough to just sit there. While its legacy certainly provides a strong foundation, the franchise clearly understands that it cannot just rest on its laurels. This is precisely why we see their continuous investment in new formats like the 3D CG films, their expansion into diverse digital platforms like AR and mobile gaming, and their willingness to explore new content genres and settings, which we'll touch on more. These innovations aren't just about finding new revenue streams. They're about keeping the brand vibrant, fresh, and competitive against that constant influx of new content. So it's really a combination. The strong foundation allows them to take perhaps bolder risks with innovation.
Right, makes sense. And protecting a global brand also means battling those who try to profit illegally. The franchise has faced significant hurdles in safeguarding its IP, particularly through trademark battles and enforcement in crucial international markets. A major challenge emerged in mainland China. Local companies apparently preemptively registered the Crayon Shin-chan name as a trademark back in 1997 without Futubasha's consent. This is a common issue, unfortunately, for foreign brands entering certain markets without really thorough IP registration strategies up front.
Yeah, a real headache.
It led to this peculiar and frustrating situation where Futubasha's own licensed products were being accused of infringement by these local entities. In 2006, a Beijing court even ruled against Futubasha, preventing them from using their own brand name in China. A shocking decision, which Futubasha then immediately appealed. This legal quagmire caused significant commercial setbacks and really highlighted the complexities of IP law across different jurisdictions. However, the fight for IP rights has seen successes, demonstrates the importance of persistent enforcement. There was a successful lawsuit against a Chinese company for unauthorized use of the trademark and image, resulted in a 300,000 RMB compensation, that's about US $41,000. Now, while that might seem like a small amount in the grand scheme of things, it underscores the critical importance of robust IP enforcement in complex and vast markets like China. It sets a precedent, sends a clear message. It's clearly an ongoing battle to protect the brand's integrity, image, and revenue streams from unauthorized commercial exploitation. Requires dedicated legal teams and constant vigilance. So after exploring its history, its character appeal, its global reach, and its challenges, what's next for Shin-chan? The franchise is clearly not just sitting back. It's making strategic moves in digital transformation, driving continued growth, and embracing new technological frontiers. We've seen the shift of the new Crayon Shin-chan manga to a dedicated website. That's a clear embrace of digital distribution as a primary platform now. They also have the Crayon Shin-chan Guidance spin-off series streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. Shows their commitment to global streaming platforms and exploring diverse storytelling formats within the franchise.
Branching out.
Exactly. Their digital gaming strategy is also multi-platform, covering PC with critically acclaimed titles like Crayon Shin-chan, Me and the Professor's Summer Vacation, and a variety of mobile games, including that free-to-play Crayon Shin-chan, Assistant's Big Mission, which topped charts in 7 countries with localized Chinese content. This multi-tiered approach demonstrates an understanding of varied user preferences and market needs, doesn't it? From one-time purchases to subscription and free-to-play models with in-app purchases. And for something truly on the cutting edge, they launched that AR Crayon Shin-chan app in December 2024, using augmented reality codes on physical picture cards for interactive content, allowing fans to bring Shin-chan characters into their real-world environment. This is a significant move. Signals their active exploration of new emerging interactive technologies like AR and pushing the boundaries of fan engagement beyond traditional screens. Yeah, and what truly stands out here, I think, is their willingness to reinvent the core content itself, not just how it's delivered. This commitment to content innovation goes beyond the traditional. The success of that first full 3D CG film, Super Fusion I Love You Ando, which broke box office records, that was a strong validation of their investment in new animation technology and artistic styles. It proved they could evolve the visual style and still captivate audiences. That's a crucial step for a long-running franchise, to avoid looking dated. And looking ahead, there are even more ambitious plans that indicate a pretty bold vision for the future. Sony, YAY, in India, has apparently proposed this ambitious idea of a Crayon Shin-chan multiverse, hinting at future spin-offs or interconnected story arcs that could significantly expand the narrative universe, introduce new characters or settings, all while leveraging the existing IP. This kind of thinking ensured long-term relevance and monetization potential by just creating more story opportunities.
A multiverse. Interesting.
Right. Plus, the upcoming 2025 film is teased as the series' first dance entertainment film. And notably, it's set in India. This demonstrates a bold willingness to try new content genres and story settings, and to tailor content specifically for key international markets, like India, where Shin-chan has exceptionally strong demand, and where, let's face it, dance is a significant cultural element. It's a strategic move to keep the brand creatively vibrant, prevent audience fatigue, and reinforce its global appeal by acknowledging and integrating local cultural elements directly into the content.
So this really isn't just about a cartoon character anymore, is it? It feels like a blueprint for enduring global IP, a testament to strategic foresight, adaptability, and just relentless innovation in a fiercely competitive industry.
Outro. Well, we've journeyed through the incredible world of Crayon Shin-chan, from its quite unexpected origins as an adult manga to its current status as this multi-billion-dollar global entertainment powerhouse. It's really a story of adaptability, creativity, and a relentless pursuit of new ways to connect with audiences across generations and cultures. And what really stands out to me from this deep dive is how a brand can sustain relevance across generations and diverse cultures, not by rigidly adhering to its past, but by strategically evolving its content and distribution while fiercely protecting its core identity. It's about that consistent willingness to pivot and innovate, always with an eye on the audience and the changing market landscape.
Yeah, it reminds us that in any field, really, whether it's entertainment or business, understanding and responding to your audience, being willing to innovate, and navigating those complex global landscapes, those are the true keys to long-term success. It's about a brand being like a living, breathing entity that constantly adapts to thrive.
Perhaps the biggest takeaway here is that even the simplest, maybe most mischievous ideas, when they're nurtured, adapted, and strategically managed with care, they can achieve truly extraordinary things. Build an enduring legacy that spans decades and continents, creating a cultural touchstone for millions.
So the next time you encounter a seemingly innocent cartoon character, maybe consider the hidden depths and the strategic genius that might lie beneath its playful surface. It truly makes you think. What other familiar cultural touchstones have equally fascinating untold stories of evolution and impact? Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.